What is up, everybody, and welcome to Throwback Shack Collectibles. I'm Chet Malarkey, and I'm here with Jay Bleasy, and today we are going to be interviewing Nostalgic Gamer. Welcome to the show.
Or Brian, right?
Or
Brian is
Brian, yeah.
Yeah, that's my real name.
We just
Didn't want
doxed
to
him.
dox you. Yeah, just didn't want to dox you. If you didn't want to go by that. As we've said before, my name's not Chet Malarkey, so like we don't
Are you
go
kid-
by
Are you
names.
kidding me? My birth name is Jay Bleasy. When I came out of the
It's on
vaginal
his birth
canal,
record.
it's on
Yeah.
there. But anyway, Brian, what we've got you here for is we want to know a whole lot more about you. What you and your co-workers or cohorts or co-producers, what you guys actually do. It seems like you've got a lot going on, and we love to talk to people who've got a lot going on. So take it away,
Yeah.
man.
Okay, well, so we're talking about the whole Nostalgic Gamer Twitter thing.
Sure, that we can
Yeah,
start
yeah.
there.
Let's
Yeah.
start
I mean,
there.
that's just me. That's
Yeah, that's
yeah. I mean, that's pretty much all I do. If you mean sort of like the Controller Nerds website, that's something sort of very separate. What I do with a couple of friends of mine.
okay.
We put reviews out, but the main thing I do is just the whole Nostalgic Gamer thing on Twitter, and that's it's pretty much just for fun, really.
Yeah, well, I mean, the reason I think I'd followed you first, and then you kind of had followed me back at some point,
Mhm.
and I was really kind of blown away because the number of followers you have on Twitter, for just nostalgia. I mean, it's such a super small niche.
It is,
Because
yeah.
we're only covering a couple decades here of the stuff that you and I both kind of like, and so I mean, it's super niche down, but somewhere in the 61,000 almost followers. And I think I asked you, I reached out to you, and I'm like, dude, how did how did you do that? So I mean, I guess maybe that's the question: is like, when did this start?
Sure.
How did this become such a big thing for you?
Sure. I mean, the great thing about nostalgia is the more time goes on, the more nostalgia there is. So it's only going to grow.
That's
That's
true.
that's the way I see it. I mean, nostalgia for ourselves is going to mean something different to somebody born in say '99, for instance. They'll have their modern warfares that they'll be nostalgic about. Well, we're
Mhm.
nostalgic about Donkey Kong and things like that. So it's
Yeah.
it's just a growing thing. So how Twitter came about, how I did it, it was kind of a revenge thing. I used to now hear me out.
I'm with that. No, I'm with that. Go ahead. Keep going.
I used to co-run a Facebook page, which will remain nameless.
Name it. Name it. Name it.
No. It's I can't because unfortunately the owner has since passed, so I don't want
Oh,
to.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
My bad.
No, not at all. But
I pull my
we
foot out.
ran that. We ran that, and with my help, we got it from like 15,000 followers or likes as it is over there. Brought it up to 23,000. It got to a point where the dynamic was changing. He ended up booting me off the page, basically. Just got
Okay.
rid of me because I disagreed with what was going on, the direction it was taking. He was kind of using it. So he was like a t-shirt designer as well, and he was using this following that I'd helped sort of like grow to sell his stuff. And that was not what I was about. I was there for the memories and things like that. And we had a bit of a fallout. So he booted me off.
That's understandable.
Yeah. So 8 years ago, I started the Twitter page and didn't really think anything of it. And then it started getting a little bit of attention. And it's just kind of like grown ever since. I think it was about 3 years ago, I was hovering around 23 to 25K. But the last 3 years, it's just really sort of kicked off to almost double that in
Do you think the pandemic had
short space of
anything
time.
to play with some of that explosion, or more people at home, more people just able to like have time to sit there and watch? Or?
Possibly. I mean, there was a big retro boom. I say thanks to the pandemic. It happened at the same time.
Yeah.
Thank you, pandemic.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody.
Sorry, man.
That's dark.
All right, we can edit all that.
No, keep it. That's cool.
Yeah.
I think going back to that, in hindsight, probably does. It has had a positive effect, and I did change things up. I change things up very regularly in what I do on there, just to see what's. I don't want to be it sounds just really silly. I don't want to be the popular one. I don't want to post the popular stuff all the time. I want to show all the hidden stuff. And this stuff doesn't get all that much attention, but I want people to see things that they may not have come across in their youth. And everyone can post about Mario and Sonic and Zelda, and you've seen them all before. And I've always wanted to be that little bit different and bring something different to people. And it must have worked, because it's a big account.
No shit. It definitely worked. I think the way you've gone with it, the direction you've taken it. One of the things that I like to do with ours is I try to every once in a while I'll try to just go to the profile and I'll just scroll. And I'll take a look at what it is I've reposted. I love to repost because I want a commentary on somebody else's. And I want to give them the credit for the idea they came up with. So I really like to repost quite a bit, especially with stuff like yours and other folks' accounts. But I like to scroll through there and take a look. And honestly, one of the biggest things for me is it visually pleasing? Like, my brand is a nostalgic brand, but does it fit? Like, do the things that I post, does it look all right? Does the colors look all right? Like, you've got that great Sonic background right now, right? So visually, it's just super appealing to watch your camera screen right now. And I want my page to kind of flow that same way. And oftentimes, like you said, it takes me away from just posting the same thing, because I don't want to scroll more than once or twice and see 2 or 3 posts on the same damn thing. I don't want to see Mario's fucking face all day long. Like, I want to have some other elements there. Maybe I want to see Michael Jackson from that time frame, or maybe I want to talk about Star Wars, or maybe I want a glowworm to appear that you haven't seen in 30 years. Something like that.
Oh yeah,
absolutely that. I mean, I think that's what's good about. I mean, I don't know if you could call what I do a brand. I guess it is.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
To the size of it. But what I do, it started out just sticking to games, and I thought, movies, music, things like that. So these are elements I've started bringing in probably in the last few years as well. A big thing of mine, my bread and butter, so to speak, on the page is the anniversaries. Such and such was released on this day 500 million years ago, and things like that. And bringing in popular movies, Predator, Terminator, things like that. I love making people feel old, and they love it too. They do love it. They may not say it, but they love it too.
But I think our old, I don't know, maybe I'm biased, but I don't think any of us here in this video chat right now look 40 plus, man. Like, I remember 40 plus. I've even watched some of the movies from our time, and I'm like, damn, that dude's 30 because he looks 55, 60.
You collect baseball cards. You can go back and look at these guys. They look like they're 50 years old, and they're like 25 playing baseball.
Yeah, so I think we're the face of the new 40. So I'm old, 100%. But I'm not that old. You're right. Like, I think you're totally right about the process. There's so much to see and so much that we all remember, and one little picture can trigger like this whole memory experience of where I was, what it smelled like, what it felt like, all of those things.
Exactly that, and it's the memories that people have forgotten about as well. The amount of times I read all the comments. Most times, if I get a tweet that's blown up, then I'm not reading like 5,000. I'll do my best to like everyone. I can't reply to everything, but seeing people saying, "Oh, oh my god, core memory unlocked," my job's done.
Yeah,
exactly right.
If I've evoked something that they completely forgotten about, and that person's smiling, I'm happy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the whole essence of nostalgia, period, for any time frame. Let me ask you this. So at an account with that type of followership and size, I don't want you to get too personal with it or whatnot, but is this a monetized type thing? Are you making money from Twitter for an account that size, or is this still just kind of fun and games and part-time, or what's the deal?
It's always fun and games. That's what it is, basically.
That's what it should be.
Yes.
In recent months, say probably 9 months ago, Twitter got in touch and they was like, "Hey, you can monetize your account with advertising." So I have done, but it hasn't changed what I do with the account. I still post the unpopular stuff because the advertising goes on the popular stuff, and you earn better from that. But I haven't changed. I still don't post the overly popular stuff.
Sure.
I've still always stuck to what I've done. I could earn a lot more money from it, but that's not what I'm about. At the end of the day, it's kind of free money to me because I'm just doing what I normally do.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the most important thing in the world. The only reason I bring it up
No.
is because, I know that people oftentimes that's a big question for them is, what can I really do with this? Is there something I could do with it beyond? Can I make this my life maybe, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I know that, for us, it's a labor of love right now. We're definitely doing because we love it. We get to spend time with each other as brothers,
Yeah.
reminisce.
Mhm.
So, for us, it's definitely a labor of love. But, I've just wondered, looking at an account with that size, what are the possibilities? And I think you kind of spelled that out.
Yeah, I mean, I see other accounts. People run their accounts in different ways, and when they realize sometimes that they can make money from it, then they change the dynamic to fit with the algorithm. It's not me. Absolutely
Yeah.
not me. I see
Awesome.
people with the subscribe little logo at the top of their accounts, and buy me a coffee, blah 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 blah. No disrespect to all them. They do their own thing. That's
Yeah.
just not how I work.
Yeah.
I've got my advertising, which is paid by Twitter through the American tax system into my English bank account. So it's all legit.
Oh,
um,
whatever. Hey, we still
but
have 4th of July, buddy. We still have 4th
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
July.
Yeah, we're in a paying for that tax stamp anyways.
but I've never once asked for anything. That's not what I'm about.
So
I just
I have a
do my
question
thing.
about the kind of internationality of what you do
Mhm.
in terms of you have a nostalgia group and you're on a platform like X or Twitter, and your customer base or your involvement base is going to be international.
Mhm.
Are there anything, or is there anything that's in terms of retro for you in England that isn't necessarily retro for Americans or anything like that? Like Doctor Who isn't a huge thing over here.
Yeah.
So like asking any American who their favorite Doctor is,
Yeah.
I mean, I
I
can
get
say
that.
David Tennant because like I just like David Tennant. So
Yeah.
like, that's
That's fair.
that's where I'm at. But like I don't know like if there's any kind of difference between, or if you see that in comments based off of the kind of
Yeah,
things that
I
you post.
I think so. I mean, we had a culture in school growing up. You probably know the Commodore 64, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. ZX Spectrum.
No, not
No.
ring a bell. No.
Lost me
Yeah.
there. Yeah, I'm familiar with the Commodore 64, but not.
Yeah. So sort of back in the 80s, they were the two big sort of like home microcomputers in England, and in school you'd be swapping tapes, cassette tapes with games on with your friends and stuff like that in the schoolyard. And I don't think, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, that's something you would have experienced in America, is the whole
No.
culture and the development of these games from 16-year-olds in their bedrooms, developing these games, sending them to small developers to be published. Um, it's just a different world, I think.
Mhm.
I mean, you programmed. I think that's one of your claims to fame, right? Is you
At
programmed a game
6.
at 6.
Yeah,
Yeah,
6.
yeah. I wouldn't really call it a game. It was just, well, I guess it was. Yeah, I was 6 years old and I had my Acorn Electron, which nobody in the world had. It just didn't sell. But its big brother was, you got like the educational PC, educational computers in schools.
Mhm.
Back then, it was this huge thing with red F keys called the BBC Micro, and I had this little brother for home. And yeah, I learned
That's interesting.
I learned to code in BASIC and coded this very basic sort of game. I guess it would be a game that would just sort of like test your reactions based on the colors that appeared on screen, and you get a time and a result and everything like that.
That's
That's
awesome,
cool.
actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
dope.
Aim
Yeah,
Labs has a whole game about that. You're testing your reaction. That's Aim Labs,
yeah.
basically.
But yeah, I didn't do anything else after that.
I mean, so like as I remember it, like yeah. So Commodore. I mean, I don't know. Like our first home computer, we were a little bit late to the game, but I think it was
Windows 3.1,
right with an
was the
Mhm.
operating
IBM
system.
compatible machine.
Sure.
The 286, I think,
Yeah,
was the
had the
number at the end.
66 hertz displayed on the little LED panel that was on the front of it.
Right,
Big,
and we would have had game consoles before the home
yeah,
computer. So
CRT monitor.
obviously going back to probably just NES would have been our
Mhm.
first real game system. I think I mean, I have some remembrances of playing some Atari here and there.
Yeah.
But for us owning a game system, it would have been, we started in the NES age.
Yeah, I mean, I think another sort of semi-divide as well. So you had what we call the NES, but the NES. We had the Sega Master System, which wasn't overly popular where you are.
No,
Is
not
it?
at all. Yeah.
No.
But it was huge here. Our nation was more of a Sega nation, where you was more Nintendo sort of focused. And you had the Sega Genesis. I had the Mega Drive. That's where my
We didn't even
real
have
life
that.
started.
Didn't seem like it hit really huge over here.
Well, the Genesis.
Well, the
no,
Genesis did.
The Mega Drive, I believe.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
the Genesis is the Mega Drive. It's just
Okay.
your version.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Genesis. I would say that Mortal Kombat, right? Blood Mode. I think I posted about this the other day.
That
I
was
think
the best game for that.
that was the line in the sand. I think for most Americans, at least kids our age, is when we got rented the first. We had Nintendo first, so we had an NES first, Super NES first, and we got rented the Mortal Kombat Super NES. And I remember hearing from my friends and buddies, oh, hey, there's going to be this cool blood. You're going to pull out his skull. It's going to dangle. It's going to be great. And then we're playing the game and there's none of that. And I'm like, yo, like, now obviously my folks, they didn't want us to have anything to do with that anyway. But we also around that time frame had a Sega Genesis. And the fix was to just go rent the Sega Genesis cartridge and you have all the blood and guts you needed.
Yeah, exactly that.
So for us, I think the real line in the sand where it seems like it just on an outsider's perspective looking in, somebody that experienced it, Sega really kind of came to prominence around that point. And I think for us, we started transitioning more into the Sega product. We ended up, I think probably for us, the next system we had was the Dreamcast.
Was the Dreamcast, yeah, instead of the PlayStation 1.
Right.
Yeah, we got the Dreamcast.
We didn't go the PlayStation route. We also didn't go the Nintendo GameCube route. So, I think there was a dividing line in the sand for us as far as that. And that Mortal Kombat game might have been the moment where a large portion of the U.S. was just like, all right, Nintendo, we get it. You got some fun games, but now you're kind of censoring us. And it's like, Americans don't like that shit.
No.
So you're like, Sega.
Nobody likes that shit.
Sega.
Yeah. So so let me ask you another question. You posted. Chet had mentioned some differences between cultures. You posted the Ninja Turtle dicks in the jar. So yeah, there we go.
We already got suspended from Twitch. Why not?
Yeah, there he is. It's a little one. He's got a little guy.
He's growing.
You posted the picture of the
growing out of shower
of the turtle dicks, and I had made a comment that I prefer my turtle dicks fried. In England, there in the UK, do you guys have fried turtle dicks, as it were, or is that a foreign food to you?
We have turtle dicks. We call them gherkins traditionally.
Jerking the gherkin. Yeah.
I can't say I've ever had them fried. I'm tempted to try. I'm very tempted
it's
to try
delicious.
I do like them on my burgers. That's pretty much the only time I like them. But I'll give it a go. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, we do them in spears, whole dicks, and we also chop them up into little chips. So
nice.
It's delicious. So I wondered, because I was like, after I posted it on your post, I was like, he probably has no fucking idea what I just said.
No, can't say I've had a fried turtle dick, but
yeah,
try it.
All right. Well, at least we found that out about you. And if this show does nothing else, it goes hard,
Clarified
right? It goes hard on the turtle dicks.
Yeah, we can now knock that off as a question in our minds.
So we kind of like. Do you want to talk at all about the website and what you do with that? Yeah. Is that
I don't really do a lot with that. I've taken a bit of a back seat on that. I don't have. When I first joined the site as an editor, I had a lot more time in my hands. It was COVID. I got made redundant, and I was working.
Martin and Benjamin.
Yeah. So I was working in retail management at the time, and retail is just like a dying trade. So I had a lot of time in my hands back then. Then I ended up sort of retraining to go into a future-proof sort of employment. So I just don't have the time anymore. I think the last review I wrote, it was about a month ago for Sandland.
Okay.
Nice little game, actually, not bad. But those two guys, it's their baby sort of thing, and I'm there just to just do whatever if I want to.
So
Basically.
what's your gaming jam then? Like what if you were going to go? I mean, I kind of know, but I'm going to ask you anyway for the audiences. What is your I'm going to go to right now and throw it on. I've got, let's say, an hour and a half to kill. I just want a game. What's your game? What's your system?
Currently, my main system, my main current system is my PlayStation 5. There's a lot I can do on that. But if I'm going to go older, and I've been a lot more into my retro recently. Just finished Silent Hill on PS1, and
Nice.
I'm now onto Silent Hill 2 on PS2. So that's what I'm kind of spending a bit of time on these days.
Are you doing emulation, or do you actually own the physical systems?
I got the physicals. I mean,
Awesome.
I'm just valuing my discs at the minute. There's about 300 of them there, and
Yeah, I saw that pile. You're
That's
like,
quite
oh,
a collection. Yeah.
he's like, I finally alphabetized them. So
that's
yeah,
not a
that's
whole
cool.
lot. There's more. I found more.
What's your oldest retro system?
The oldest one I have, let me think. Damn.
I mean, a Commodore came before NES, I believe, and then you got Atari.
Yeah, I think it's the Atari 2600. So that'd
Okay.
be 1982, I believe.
Okay, do you own that?
Yeah.
Or is that okay? Yeah. Okay.
I
Wow.
do, yeah.
How many games are in that library for you?
What, overall? I mean, I have 5, but there's a lot more. There's a lot more than that.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think even
couldn't
Prince
say
of
how
Persia
much.
goes back that old.
Prince of Persia started out on the Apple II, which
Okay.
I think was after that, and everything got ported from that. I'd be interested to see if it is on the Atari 2600, because that's going to look shit. It really is.
We're gonna get some stills, put them up. So are you? I mean, do you have a Genesis? Do you still? I mean, I noticed you played Sega. You were playing Sonic not too long ago. What, the other night?
Yeah, I've still got my original Mega Drive. Mega Drive Mark One with the Mark One Mega CD as well. I have the Mark Two Mega Drive Mega CD also. It's all sort of like stashed away, just kind of in storage at the minute, because my place is just too small to kind of like house them and display them.
Yeah, yeah. Did you have the Dreamcast, or do you have the Dreamcast still?
I did. I bought one. So before everybody sort of like jumped on the retro hype train and everything was still really cheap, I bought a Dreamcast with 4 games for about £15. So that's probably $22, something like that.
Yeah.
That was probably 9-10 years ago.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's very hard to collect now. Just with everything just going like that, it's so difficult.
It's hard to. I think it's hard to invest. But I mean, collectors, right? Like, collectors are going to collect no matter what the cost. Sometimes, I mean, and I say that not saying that I have unlimited bank account with unlimited funds, but if it's something that I truly collect, I'm going to collect it probably no matter the price. I mean, who wants to wait 10 or 15 years to own something? That's quite a fucking long game. if you can do that. Cool, man. Well, let me ask you this. We like to kind of ask this of everybody that comes on. Are you a family man? Do you have stuff going on that way? Like, because I know for us, we both got wives. I've got like 5 daughters. I mean, he's got 2 kids. We find it's very hard for guys our age to actually have enough time to sit down and block out time for playing any kind of gaming, let alone retro or whatnot.
I get that.
Is there any kind of hindrances in your life, or are you able to, other than work, just kind of do what you want to do?
No, I'm a single man with no family.
All right, ladies.
No. I say single. I live on my own. I've recently become not so single. I have met somebody who does have a family.
Okay.
And that, we'll see where that goes. I'm liking where it's going at the minute. I mean, I made a conscious choice to not have children when I was younger.
Sure.
And that's something I stuck to. And respect anybody that does.
Oh, and likewise, respect to you too, man. I mean, it's all a decision, right? Yeah.
It's just sort of personal choice, and
it is exactly.
I've met this lady. She's got children. I've met her young daughter. She's wonderful.
Awesome.
That's beautiful.
And yeah, I mean, maybe I will have a lot less time in the future. But, right now, I've got nothing but time. I'll finish work. I'm working from home. Shut down my laptop. On goes the PlayStation, and that's me there. for
Do you
6-7 hours.
consider do you consider a phrase that I hate in the gaming world, and that's why I'm so glad I'm in both gaming and collectibles and nostalgia. I hate this backlog shit. I hate the thought of a backlog. So I was actually kind of getting into it with somebody the other day, and I don't, dude, I don't mean to do it.
I've got quite the backlog. So
I mean, well, that's the thing. I hate the phrase. I hate the terminology. I looked up the direct definition of it. I guess I'm that kind of asshole, but I did. And it says, the operative language in there is that it's something that needs to be done. Like it stresses the word need. And, it's like, okay, what are we, a bunch of fucking computer programmers out here? Like, no, we're not. You are, but we're not. And it's like, I'm not going to, I don't have a backlog. It's not like, Konami is on my ass to get, 5 games finished and beaten today. But everybody abuses the hell out of the word backlog. So I guess I'm going to use it in term of this conversation. Do you have a backlog, Brian? That's
Nah. I just play what I want to play when I want to play it.
Yeah, there you go.
And I've got hundreds of games, and I know 70% of them I'm probably never going to play.
Your Steam library? You got your Steam library?
I don't really do Steam.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. All of mine are physical. They're lovely.
He's a purist. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I have got Steam, and I do my my little humble bundle subscription, $8.99 per month sort of thing, because I forget to cancel it. But no, I'm a physical man all the way, because that's just the way I've grown up, and I just don't want to change that. But
that's awesome.
I've got so many. I want to play them all. I'm just thinking about retirement. Maybe I will. But I know for a fact there's some in there that I know I'm not going to get to. So in terms of, let's say, backlog, I will play the ones I want. I know I want to play. I've got a ton of horror games that I'm going to play this October, because I want to shit my pants. And
get the scariness in there.
It's really difficult for me to do that, because a long time ago, so I was 6 years old, and I watched Aliens, and that screwed me then.
Yeah, it'll do it.
Ever since then, nothing has come near it. And
really,
I'm searching for the one horror game.
That high. You're chasing that dragon.
The only thing that came close was Outlast.
Okay.
It's a 5-hour game that took me about 3 years to finish, because after every checkpoint I turned it off. that's the only thing that's got me. But yeah, I'm still looking for that one that's just gonna keep me up at night.
So, well, from a gaming standpoint, or even just a movie standpoint?
Both, yeah.
Both, yeah. So, is Aliens the movie? Is that what we're talking about? Was the fear factor for you?
Yeah, that's the one that dulled my senses. That was the one.
Yeah, I've got these. Have you ever heard it? Did they have Tales from the Crypt Keeper where you're from?
Yeah, it's one of those things that I play after midnight on like what you would call cable channel.
Yeah. I've got a vivid memory of this just one episode and one scene that just scared the ever living shit out of me. And I don't remember what the episode was about. I just have a visual of what happened in that scene, and to me, that's the scariest thing in my life that happened.
What movie? I missed it, bro. I froze.
Oh, it's cinema. Oh, it's Tales from the Crypt Keeper.
Okay.
We had started, it was at the house in Seminole, and somehow we were watching it because we didn't have HBO. No, I think it was on HBO or something like that at the time.
Yeah, it was.
Something about that. It just scared the daylights out of me. And in terms of just those core memories, to bring that back from what you said, that right there is the scariest thing. And since then, I've just never been able to hit that. Oh, it scared me.
Yeah, I mean, mine was probably the library opening scene in Ghostbusters.
Oh, I love that.
If I've got to, pure fright factor, and like watching like this until the day I could not watch like that any longer and had to visually take it in, that was mine. It was horrendous. I think I found myself, kind of zooming past or wanting to not come in the room if it was on TV until after that moment.
Just that face,
yeah.
I get that, and that's pretty creepy. I was babysitting my young nephew and niece recently, and they've not been exposed to the original Ghostbusters, so I was like, right, sit down, you're about to get a lesson.
You're the cool uncle, yeah.
Exactly that, because I don't have kids, I got all this cool stuff. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
can sit down and we can chill out, we can have fun. So yeah, I put original Ghostbusters on, and it got to the library scene. I said to my little niece, I was like, "Right, just be ready." And then it happened. She was like, "Is that it?" I
Oh,
was like, "What do you mean? Is that it?"
that's everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This guy's living trauma his entire life, and
I
this
know.
your
I
little
mean,
niece
well,
is like, "Was that it?"
and the other scene too, like I mean, I think I don't know how many years it took me to want to sit on a piece of furniture at night with no lights on. When the dog arms come shooting out of the fucking couch
Yeah,
that grabs her and everything, I was
Oh
just
yeah,
like,
man.
oh, there's there were so many parts of that movie that truly terrified me. Because I mean, what? I mean, I was maybe 7, 8 years
Well, I
old
think things were more
when I first saw
believable,
it.
like in the 80s and 90s, in terms of like those kind of special effects. Now everything is computer generated. The kids have tablets. There's internet. They're on these things constantly. So they can easily debunk them. In
Yeah,
their own
yeah,
minds too. Like in terms of where we were, there was nothing like that. So these cheap special effects, as kind of campy and B movie as they seem to today's standards, were amazing and also terrifying.
absolutely. I mean, they're so exposed to pretty much everything today. It's hard to scare kids
Mhm.
because they.
and you
Yeah.
try. I know it. I
I try very hard.
oh,
Yeah,
good.
He's like,
my
that's
new
my other
partner's
channel.
kids are going to be in for a treat.
Yeah. Have you introduced them to, the retro gaming side of things? Like, I mean, do you try to put them
I
on a system?
I don't need to. They're already there. Well,
Awesome.
my partner is, and she's a bit older than me, so
Hmm.
she's kind of there already. So yeah, it's all good there. She's nerdy, but not as nerdy. We'll get there. It's a work in progress.
Yeah, that's still
Hey,
getting
we're
that switch
nerds, but
around
we're
to.
cool now.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Like,
it's
Yeah.
all in. I've got a daughter, my 15-year-old. She I don't know where it came from. It came out of nowhere, but she is super, super retro enthusiast. I mean, synthwave music,
oh,
old 80s pop. She just got done painting a room. It looks like some old skating rink style colors on the wall and stuff. I mean,
That's
it's
amazing. Yeah.
it's nuts. Yeah, she likes VHS tapes. She comes up here and does the
nice.
CRT TV, and I've got this couch behind me, and then I've got the CRT like right in front of me here. She's watching the VHS movies. I made sure. See, now I played this game smart. When I bought the VHS collection, I threw in some stuff the wife and the girls would like because I've got all daughters. So while I do have Jurassic Park, E.T., and The Great Outdoors, I also have Dirty Dancing, Pretty Woman, and Fried Green Tomatoes. So
Of course you do.
Fried Green
yeah,
Tomatoes is an amazing movie. Like regardless of what gender you are, Fried
no,
Green
it is.
Tomatoes
And don't get me
is
wrong.
amazing. I don't know if you've seen it before, Brian, but
I I know the title. I don't recall ever seeing it,
it's a
but
What
I
about
fantastic
know of
Pretty
movie.
it.
Woman? Pretty Woman? You've seen Pretty Woman?
Yeah, just the once. That was enough.
Yeah, and same with Dirty Dancing. Like you can only get so much Patrick Swayze.
Oh man, I've got two younger sisters, and I got put through that so much.
The Dirty
So
Dancing?
yeah, so much that they forced me to do the dance and everything with them.
Oh, were you doing the move at the end where you're holding
Yeah,
them? Now
yeah, they
I've had the time of
exactly that. And I just there was one time I got sort of like so fed up with it one day. I sort of like did it and threw one over my shoulder, and her face kind of went into the wall and just started crying. I was like, oh shit, what do I do here?
Brothers and sisters. I've got a boy and a
Yeah,
girl. Yeah, and they're constantly at it like that. So,
Well, Swayze probably did
what
that
happens?
in one of those takes. We have no idea. We didn't get to see them all.
you'd have to, wouldn't you?
You would have
Sick
to.
of this.
Just
Sick of this now.
launch her real quick. Ah.
Dude, what's your favorite sitcom from the 80s or 90s? Which is obviously that's a tough question. I couldn't give you one, but if you had to pick one, what do you think's your favorite sitcom?
See, we didn't get a lot of that over here.
Okay.
Sitcoms.
Yeah, I mean, the closest thing we would have maybe Only Fools and Horses or The Young Ones. They're very British.
Yeah,
Like
super
Yeah.
British stuff.
we didn't get Cheers and stuff like that until sort of much later
Mhm.
on a channel that nobody ever watched anyway.
So what about like
Um,
Full House or what
Never
about
seen it.
never seen it? Okay, what about
Not
Family Matters with Steve Urkel?
no.
Wow.
What
It
the
just never
actual
happened here.
fuck, bro?
Yeah,
Yeah.
my cultural mind is being blown right now. Like this
Yeah.
is like this is instrumental to like him and I's growing up. Was
What
like,
about Alf? When I post pictures of Alf, anything?
Alf, yes.
there was
Okay.
Alf. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
we did have
Yeah.
Alf on occasion. And do you remember? dinosaurs.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
with the puppets. Yeah, the
Yeah,
kind of
we
like
had
yeah.
we had that as well.
That was amazing. Not the
Yeah.
mama.
Holy cow. Well, all right. So we're going to have to do a watch party, I think, at one night, man. And we'll just,
Yeah, we'd
anytime,
love to have you back.
we'll all
This was
just
great.
have some drinks. We'll sit down. We'll throw on an episode of Family Matters with Steve Urkel. And we'll show you the cultural revolution that
Yeah.
took
Okay.
place on this side of the pond, man. It's crazy. Like, you can't spell late 80s, early 90s without those films, at least in this country.
TGI
Yeah.
Friday. Yeah, no, not the Fridays, but TGIF was kind of like the programming syndicate that was running this kind of.
It's CBS, I think, was the
Well, yeah, but it was like
station of the
4
time
different
at that time.
shows. You had Family Matters. You had what's that one with the
You had Boy Meets Girl in there,
Meets
or Boy Meets
Girl.
World, or whatever,
Patrick Duffy was in the other one with the roller coaster and
Step by
Cody.
Step.
Step by Step. Yeah, yeah.
None of these ring a bell for you. I can see
No,
him. He's
yeah.
totally,
Yeah,
he's
this was
blank.
So
huge. She's like, I don't know what these guys are talking about.
in the 80s, like, without cable, how many channels did how many terrestrial channels did you have?
Let's probably call it conservatively around 30. Let's say
Right.
somewhere
Without
around 30.
cable, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
We had 4,
Oh my God.
and 2 of those were BBC.
Oh,
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
so it was just Doctor Who, basically. Like,
I didn't even watch that.
Oh my gosh. So in the movie, all right, so have you ever seen National Lampoon's European Vacation? Have you ever
I
seen
have
it?
just recently, actually, as well.
Okay, so when they're sitting in that French hotel room and it's 2 channels, one is snow and one is cheese. Is that what the fuck was going
That's pretty
on?
much it. Yeah.
Oh my
It's where my love of
Oh.
cheese comes from.
Oh man, it
Oh
sucks
my-
so bad.
bro, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, we're doing this. Yeah, we're scheduling this one of
Yeah.
these evenings, afternoons for us. We will have to bring you on and they're 30 minutes or less. I think we could probably knock an episode out in like 22, 23 minutes
easily.
tops.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it, man. I've got to treat you like you've done coming on the show. I've got to treat you to some cinematic greatness.
Look forward to it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, look, dude, obviously it's been a cool time.
Yeah.
I could kick it all day long and drink pints if I had some pints. Anything you want us to know, man? Like what do you want, to say, if anything? Is there anything in closing? Anything you'd like to plug? Anything you're thinking about doing? Like, what do you got? What do you got for the future?
I got nothing really. I'm just going to keep on doing what I do.
Hell yeah.
It's not going to change. I'm always looking for sort of new. I don't know if you noticed in my account, it's very sort of like thematic. So I will sort of like find one thing, and if that works, I'm going to make a theme out of it. Like recently, it's been I picked the 4 best-selling games per console in a specific year, and I would go through those and really upset people by sort of making them choose one sort of thing, and you just move through the years.
Yeah.
So I like to find themes, find what works. Like I used to do these, review this game in. It was like give this game a 1-word review. They used to do really, really well. I've now changed that into review this game in 3 words. It gives people a bit more.
I've seen those. Yeah.
Yeah. And that seems to be sort of doing all right as well. And I posted one, I think it was Yoshi's Story this afternoon. And that was like an instant, within an hour, sort of like 150 odd likes and a lot of comments.
Nice.
And stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the interaction doesn't really represent the following that I have, which is unfortunate. Got to take into account how many might be bots and things like that.
Sure.
But they do get reduced on a daily basis. So I'll look at my account every morning. I'll do my research for the account every single day. I'll see what the anniversaries are. What can I do different here? What can I do different there? And this is all for the for the people. Just like making them happy, and I just want to give them the best sort of content. So I'll spend a bit of time each morning sort of doing that before I go to work, or even while I'm at work.
We won't tell anybody.
Hey, don't tell mine. I won't tell yours.
Yeah, but it's just
like they're Americans. They don't know what they're talking about.
But finding a theme and just seeing what works and sort of making something regular out of it. Like every Saturday morning, I post my Saturday morning cartoons, and I've got like 100 cartoons in my head. Some of which you guys didn't get, some of which we didn't get. But I tried to cater for.
We'll have to pay attention to that because I want to know what you guys got that we didn't get.
Yeah, this morning I posted Tiny Toon Adventures, so everybody got that. But there'll be certain cartoons over here which were very British. I don't know. Did you get Danger Mouse?
I know of Danger Mouse, but it was
Yeah.
not huge
Yeah,
here.
not
No.
huge here, but yeah,
No.
I'm just like him. I know of Danger Mouse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Count Duckula was another big one over here. Just a duck vampire. He was pretty fucking cool.
Was
And
it
I
part of the Disney franchise, like in terms of like DuckTales or anything like that? No, it was just a
No,
random duck vampire. Okay.
no Disney, no Hanna-Barbera, no Warner
What?
Brothers. It was
Okay.
just British cartoons.
yeah, I mean,
We,
I
we
think I've
might
heard of that one.
we might have to have a series with him.
Yeah, definitely.
Show him the American content that we
It's
were subjected to during
well, it's for
the
both of
powerful
us on both
movies.
sides, right? He can show
Yeah.
us his, and
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah.
we'll have Aladdin singing over the front of it. I can show you the world. Like, it'll be
I'm
something
sure
like
we
that.
all got that. We all got Aladdin.
We all
Um,
got Aladdin.
Yeah. What? All right. So,
Yeah.
last thing here, parting advice for maybe people who are just kind of finding their way in their own brand, trying to figure it out. Like, is there any one thing that sticks out to you that you would say to them?
If you enjoy what you're doing, just keep at it. I mean, it won't come to you right away. It never does. But it's about finding your niche within the niche. I mean, I've never really put a lot of thought into it. I think I was in the right place at the right time. You know, retro was just starting to boom, and my account was there then. You know, 9 years ago, however long ago it was. That's when it started kicking off, and people started, romanticizing about the old days. And yeah, I mean, I say to any new accounts, just be true to yourself. Do what you want to do. If you're in it to gain popularity, fair play. That's entirely up to you. I can't advise on that because that's not what I'm in it for. It just happened that way.
Yeah.
As long as you stay true to yourself and you're happy doing what you're doing, then you can't really go wrong.
It's that authenticity. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I say, that's what I like about what I do is I have that mantra and I use it in life daily as well as my account. I don't change for anybody. Like I said, I could make so much money on this. I could. I choose not to. I choose to just carry on doing what I do and doing my full-time job, which I really enjoy.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chet, you got anything?
I'm good. Brian, it's been awesome. Thank you for
fantastic.
showing up and
Thanks for asking me.
with us.
It's been a pleasure.
Again, like maybe we will have to kind of set something up in the background where we have kind of this trade between American and British 80s nostalgia that we're all missing out on. I think that'd be kind of cool.
I mean, I'm sure on both sides, you're missing out. I've missed out for certain by the sound of things.
Yeah.
I reckon, we could show each other a lot.
Yeah, we'll come up with it on the backside. We'll figure something out. And dude, it was my pleasure having you here. I know that the time difference kind of made it hard for us to get everything worked out, but I'm glad you gave us a shot. I know we're kind of the new kids on the block. We model ourselves slightly after kind of your take. We want to be authentic as well, and we're just we're doing us. You know what I mean? Like this is how we do it. So
I'm happy to spend time with anybody. I mean, there's been new accounts that have sort of sprung up in recent years, and I've kind of like helped them grow with my advice, and now they've grown. Their accounts have kind of changed a little bit now. I'm
sure it happens.
Yeah, there's one in particular. It's become less about the gaming and more about the person, but that's their prerogative. Gain the following, and then they change.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think you're really gonna find that from us. We're pretty authentic dudes. We just like
I mean, you guys are awesome.
I mean,
so are you.
Not a lot of fakery. Are you guys gonna stop sucking each other's dick and I can end this show or whatever? Jeez Louise.
Actually, yes, we need to because I need to go drink some beer.
It needs to, all right, you go get another drink. Chet, you go get another drink. TV land out there, thank you for joining us. This was a great hangout. I can't wait to see you again, Brian. We'll talk about it on the back channels. All right, y'all. Bye, y'all.
Look after yourselves. Take care.